Organisations including the AMA and the RACGP are calling for alcohol producers to be forced to print labels on bottles, cans and casks, warning of the risk of liver disease, cancer, heart disease, poor mental health, injury, alcohol poisoning, on it goes. And the government's taking their demands seriously. The Federal Minister responsible for food and beverage labelling, Jed Kearney, says she sought advice from her department on options for raising consumer awareness about the harms associated with alcohol. I mean, can't I just enjoy my bottle of red in peace tonight? Joining me to discuss this is Adele Young, the Executive Director of Alcohol Beverages Australia. Adele, welcome. I mean, what's next? Plain packaging for wine? Gruesome photos of liver cirrhosis? Seriously?
Well, let's hope not, because there simply, in our view, isn't any justification for cancer warnings. We've worked for some time with industry over labelling changes to have pregnancy warnings and now energy warnings or calorie, details. And we think there are positive things that need to continue. But in Australia, consumption for alcohol is going down dramatically and has been for a long time. And also so's the rate of harmful drinking. It simply can't be justified that you would, by any measure, that this is, that this is needed. And it would be very harmful to the small brewers and the small distillers and the small businesses and wineries. I think we can rely on the National Alcohol Strategy and the weekly guidelines, and people are making better choices about their own alcohol consumption, and we should continue to respect that choice. We're happy to work, on the things that can make a difference, but this just isn't one of those suggestions. So we'll be working hard to convince the government to reject these suggestions.
Well, I mean, it sort of treats us like children, doesn't it? Like anyone who has a glass of wine or a beer or, the potential risks involved. It's not like drinking was invented yesterday. We understand the risks. And yes, there are people out there who are alcoholics and suffer from addiction and therefore suffer from health problems as a result of that. But are you telling me, or you're not telling me, but really, an alcoholic's not going to go down to the bottle-o one day and go, oh my God, there's a warning on the front, I better give up being an alcoholic. It's an addiction. It's the same as smoking. Unless there's something that really stops you, like you're in trouble and the doctor tells you have to stop or you're going to die, or they tax it into oblivion, which they're trying their best to do, these warnings, it's just paternalistic nonsense.
Well, our position has been, we drink 30% less than we did in the 70s at its peak, and we are certainly drinking better quality alcohol and less of it. So, we absolutely agree that young people, risky drinking, as in too much, should be discouraged, and we should support people who do have a problem. That small percentage of the community who do suffer harm from alcohol products, that's where the effort needs to be, not just broad scale, non-proven, non-effective, shoot from the hip ideas that simply don't have any evidence to support that they will work. And as you say, it's probably not going to do anything for that section of the community that we are concerned about.
Indeed. We've only got 30 seconds here, Adele, but the excise we know recently went up. How much pressure is this putting on particularly small producers?
Well, the industry's come through a very tough period and is quite resilient. But when consumers are saying, it's $10 for a beer or a drink down at the pub, it's certainly making on top of your prices of your electricity and petrol much, much harder to make ends meet. And it's one of the discretionary things that families have to give up. And that's a real shame for the 500,000 people who work in this industry, but also for citizens.
Yeah, I know. And the alcohol industry, the wine industry in particular for Australia and my home state of South Australia is a huge money spinner. It's a major part of the economy. It's a major part of tourism. The exports it generates are huge. And of course, we're now talking about getting China back online in terms of our wine exports. So let's hope we don't have to deal with more of this nonsense. Adele, thank you so much for your time.